Tonight's show, we're talking about the art of letting go. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You saw like there's something in your end table that you lives too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
And he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bullshit and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday Night Live, everybody. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How you all doing? And hope you all saw this morning's LOL show. We talked about lust and love and the difference between two and embracing the two. And I realized maybe I should do sexual retreats next, spiritual sexual retreats. And my exercise I'll be doing is called Naked Trust Falls. How would that go? That'd be a Scott Cruise exercise in the Cruisyverse for our sexual trust and love episodes and experiences. It's been an interesting week. It's been a... again, I said 2025 is going to be very chaotic. And so if y'all have not seen my 2025 predictions, please go rewatch my 2025 predictions shows and 2025 preparations. You can watch those later. Of course, I want to chop them up into little clips and turn it to a compilation. I've done a couple already regarding that. And, we are kind of standing in the mode of integrity now. And so I think right now we're in a position where we're finding our voice and finding what really is meaningful to us. And that also includes our sexual expressions, right? And that also includes how we're expressing not just our intimacy with it comes to, our families and friends, but also intimacy with our romantic relationships. Because we have, Valentine's Day is coming up. We're in that essence of love right now. So we're going to get into that. But in order to get into that, we got to learn how to let go and let go of the past. So that's today's topic, is the art of letting go, because it's not a thing you just have to do. There's an art form. It's a process to letting go. So we'll get into the topic. And so let's see who's Chatty Cathy on in the room here. Since Thursday night, Jennifer Cruz, my maker's in the room. Hello. Horses Trigger Hope. She says, ready. Has Scott changed since a year older? Well, I am clean shaven today, so there's one change. And I've been wearing hats a lot because I'm growing my hair out, and it's a disaster in the process of growing my hair out. So I'll be wearing hats for a little bit of time until I get it with a stylist to trim it the way I need to be trim it. So it's a mess right now. So I've been wearing hats for that reason. And it's easier too. Brenda Zwett, good to see you. Sydney Aaron, good to see you as well. My sister from another mister. Wonderful mod Nina is in the room. So if you guys want to get a question in, it's $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, and $40 for a live video. If you want to do a video, please, it can only be through Venmo, because that's the only outlet I can actually respond to the transaction and give you the link to call in. And the Venmo and PayPal links are in the description below. If you have any questions, the wonderful mod Nina will help you and assist you in getting that in. So, and Sydney Aaron says, I am here hoping there's a follow-up and extension of today's LOL because it was too entertaining. Hope there's a part two. Well, yeah, there's a part two next week. So we're kind of following through with that on LOL. And a little bit of that will blend into our episode here today. Rhonda, good to see you. David Cruz, my father, is wonderful in the room as well. And Lisa Cruz, my sister. Look at the Cruz family up in the house, right? And you can't have a Cruisyverse without the Cruz family. So Kristen Villarreal, good to see you. Colette Love, hello. Yes, I'm ready to get called out. Call the fuck out. Well, I mean, think of it like a spiritual, I don't know, coach, like, pushing y'all. It's not really, we don't want to call you out in a negative way. We want to empower you, but we'll call you out though still. AC, good to see you. Iggy, can't you see? And he says, we got to leave it all, leave the world behind. That's right. That is my song culture. You got it right, Iggy. Love your quotations on my songs. Jessica Duncan, good to see you. Another one that says my ass is about to get handed to me. Sure, let's go. Well, look, it's all good, right? And I'm not trying to hand your ass to you. I'm trying to hand your heart to you, right? Give me your heart to you. That's I'm giving you my heart so you can give you your heart. That's the whole purpose here. But I understand the sentiment. Linda Jane, good to see you. Abby Coe, hello. Jay Stibe, hello. Tommy Garasi, good to see you. Jennifer Wagoneer, hello. Who's going on? Iggy Kate, good to see you. Welcome aboard. We have Linda Jane, Danny S, good to see you. Greg Gomez, hello. Candace NB, hello. Welcome aboard. Benjamin, which is my good pal Sarah. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And for those of you who are watching, I cannot see. You can only see who's chatting in the room. So let's get started. And those who are new, I do start with a collective read. I utilize tarot and oracle cards, get the read in, and then we'll get into the topic, the art of letting go. And we'll start with the live readings. And make sure you get your questions in now because it is first come, first serve. People have already put their questions in before the live has started. So if you want to get it in now, get it in now. And because I will be shutting them down at some point. Let's shuffle these cards and see what's the week ahead here. All right. And I do feel, too, like we are coming out of density quite a bit because the past week or two has been very dense, like almost like you're walking underwater type of feeling. So we're coming out of that now, but the energy might kind of feel like jaggery, like jittery, like kind of like, push and pull. So I want us to be very mindful about, kind of letting ourselves neutralize that push-pull energy, the up and down energy, that we're not being too impulsive, but we're also being conscious of what we're doing with our energy. So I'm still shuffling. That's kind of what I was feeling, in a sense. Noel Way, good. Welcome to the room, everybody. My sister, my other sister from another mister. Got a lot of soul sisters in the house tonight. All right, we're just shuffling these cards. And Noel, don't make me drop the cards. Noel will always send a signal, like flip a card. They always flip on the floor. All right, here we go. We're still shuffling here, and the longer it takes, it must be because it must be very specific. Okay, let's see what the cards say here. I mean, hello. Okay, and then pull some oracle cards. This is actually going to be great because I think the reading is going to go into the topic. So we're going to combine the topic with the reads. It's been happening more often instead of doing a separate read in the topic. It's actually going to be, I think the topics I'm picking are more psychic about the collective anyway. So we're going to do both. Actually, it's going to be kind of a mixture because these cards are probably saying the same thing. Wow. Okay. All right. A little bit of wisdom, a little bit of encouragement. All good. So we have the Five of Cups coming right now in the first position. The Five of Cups is really about loss, but I don't want to take it in the sense about loss this week. It's more about letting go. But a lot of you guys are not letting go of your past circumstances or relationships because you're afraid of feeling the lost energy, or you're afraid of what it's like to be alone, or you're afraid of being alone, or you're afraid of like missing out on potential. And I would say we cannot feel an emotion for something that has not happened yet. So if you're connecting with an emotion of loss or connecting with the emotion of fear, being alone, and all those limited aspects of emotions and thought and perspective, it's not what you're fearful of the future. It's what you're in now. Many people are afraid of letting go of that relationship because they say, well, I'm afraid of being alone. I'm like, sorry to break it to you, but you're alone right now. You're channeling, you're relating to the essence of being alone because the relationship you're in is you're alone. So if you're fearing of letting go of that relationship because you're afraid of being alone, you're alone now. You're losing now. You can't feel an emotion, like I said previously, for something you're not experiencing. Because what you relate to, what we react to, we relate to. And so if you're reacting to circumstance of fear of losing and being alone, you're alone and you're losing right now. So it's now time to kind of reassess and look at the things that we actually are losing in, the things that are causing us to feel like being alone, which is creating the fear of being alone, or cause us to feel like we're missing out or deprived of emotional intimacy in our relationships. So it's time to look at that and say, well, I'm trying, I'm working, but are you the only one trying? Are you the only one pushing? Because there needs to be, as we know, two to tango. And what if you were to unplug from that dynamic or that relationship? What if you unplugged from it? Would it still sustain? Would it still stand? Because many guys are so plugged in, you're the only one feeding the energy, and the other person is like pulling that energy from you, and so you keep plugging in, you're doing all the driving. And what if you just stopped driving, you unplugged? How would that relationship be? Would it sustain? Would it last? And many of you guys know that if you stop plugging in, you know it would end, and that's the fear. You're afraid of it ending. You see, it's time to be conscious of this and say, if I have a fear of losing, that means I'm actually losing right now, because if I was winning, I wouldn't be thinking or be in the mindset or be able to have a feeling of loss at all or consider that. And usually if we, and it is, and let me kind of like fluff that down a bit too, because sometimes we get a fear of loss. It comes and goes just because we need to be more appreciative. A lot of times we have great relationships and I'm afraid of losing them, right? And that's only because we want to appreciate them more, not so much that we actually think we're going to lose them. So sometimes there's those emotions of loss that comes in that says we just need to be more appreciative of what we have, and that's it. We move on, then we go back to enjoying the circumstances. But many guys are saying, I'm afraid of losing. I'm afraid of being alone. That's all present. It's all current. And when we say be present and being present, this is what we're talking about. It doesn't mean that you say, fuck the past, fuck the future. I'm not going to focus on the future. It's not like that. We're supposed to be focusing on all the above, understanding where we came from the past. That gives us drive to move forward for the future. That's okay to be well-rounded in that sense. When we talk about being present, we're talking about what you're feeling is present. And all the negative emotion you feel is present. And it can be coming from the past too. So when we identify that, this is when we allow ourselves to let go. But another aspect is when people are afraid of letting go is because we don't know what else to grab onto. That's the problem. We got so comfortable holding on to the uncomfortable situation and like, well, it's a crutch right now. It's pacified me, or I'm afraid of being alone because I'm alone. And we don't know what else to jump towards. So we stay clutched to the past. We stay clutched to the circumstance that we know we need to let go of. Many of you guys are maybe not even in the situation any longer, but you're still holding on to the past circumstance. I've been cheated on. I've been lied to. So I still can't get over the circumstance of being cheated on or the circumstance of being lied to, even though you're over the person, but that prevents you from grabbing onto your future. Because everything is a duality. So if you experience that deprivation, what is that deprivation telling you in a sense of what do you want more of, what you deserve more of? Because those realizations, those lessons say to you, I deserve better. I deserve to be valued. I deserve to be appreciated, right? Very simplistic. And when you understand what you deserve, you look at what you've been holding on to, like, this isn't giving it to me. And I always like to use the analogy of if you didn't know what a stove was, and you put your hand on a burning stove and you burn your hand like, fuck. You don't have to remind yourself after that, don't put my hand on a stove. Don't put my hand on a stove. You'll know. Hot stove, burnt hand, no bueno. You won't do it again. Same thing when you understand what has been burning you. When you recognize I'm being burnt by this relationship, you'll stop touching it. You'll let go of it. You don't have to remind yourself like, I got to break away. I got to break away. Because then you have the ability and you have the intellectual, spirit, and energetic and emotional space to start grabbing onto something more definitive. But you have to be aware of what is that you need to grab onto now. Many guys are trying to let go without understanding what you need to latch onto, what you need to grab onto next. And a lot of times it's just your heart you need to grab onto. And I'm not preaching here, for those of you might be misunderstanding, I'm not preaching repeal and replace. Let go and fill it with something else. No. This is all emotional. You let go of this emotion, what emotion you're clinging onto, and that, of course, is always going to be self-love. We talked about, LOL this morning about, the lust and love energy, how, we have a culture that's very like now driven, put everything at a push of a button at your fingertips, that we've lost the essence of engagement. We lost the essence of even just self-love because we have everything now, but now we have so much expectation placed on how we're supposed to act, look, be, present ourselves that, it's just emphasizing more self-hatred. And the more we're trying to pacify that self-hatred, we're going to start filling it with things that are just temporary and superficial and shallow. And that's where, again, you get yourself stuck in that circumstance because you have not recognized what you were worth. You have not recognized what you need to cling on to truly from your heart, that you still cling to these past, these surface, superficial circumstances. And the fear of letting it go means you go back to being alone. It's like, no, you're alone now. Remember this. So when you decide and you understand what that is that you need to let go of and what you need to grab onto, things happen. Things fly by. with the eight of wands here. Movement happens. Success happens. Things change quickly for you because it's like you've closed a door and you've opened up a new door. You've opened up the curtains, so to speak, figuratively speaking, and you see the light, and then people finally see you. You become more vibrant, right? And you start acting and behaving instead of waiting. You start behaving and becoming the person that you know that you need to become, that you've been wanting to become. Instead of demanding others do for you what you think you need to have them do for you, you start becoming that person and start doing it for yourself. I mean, we hear all the time, be the change you want to be in the world, right? Be the change. It's so overly done. It's lost its emphasis because yeah, I heard that. But if you want consistency, you must be consistent. And it's very simple. We have to remind ourselves, if you want love, you must be loving. Not only to other people, but to yourself. And self-love is the access point to romantic love, to any other type of love that returns back to you. Self-love is what magnetizes the love from other people. So it's time now letting go. It's an art form. It's not something you just like, I have to force myself to do, but there's an art form to it. There's an understanding to letting go. It's a process. It's recognizing, what are you holding on to? Why are you holding on to it? What is the deprivation it's creating for you? And what is the wisdom it's providing for you of what you want to expand into? And that's the essence of letting go. That's the art form of letting go. And you have to be emotionally agile. You have to be emotionally strong. You have to be very definitive and determined. We can't be in a stage of a wishy-washy energy. We can't be like, oh, I have some, yeah, maybe, I don't know, and what do I do? And all that stuff and wonderment, that doesn't do anything. There's no solidity in that type of energy. There's no solidity in that type of behavior. We have to be very determined, very straightforward to the point and say, I'm doing this and that is it, and focus on it and be consistent moving forward with that. And that means you're severing those ties of the past. You're severing the ties of things that are depriving and pulling from you, and you're opening yourself up to that newer world, a newer paradigm that you know that you want all along. But another thing too is a lot of you guys are not allowing yourself to grab on to the newer paradigm because you're not that paradigm yourself. And a lot of you guys are afraid of, opening that new paradigm because subconsciously the things you want, you are not. I want someone to be loyal to me, but you're not loyal. It's time to start giving it to ourselves so then we can become that, express that, and then we receive it. That's the formula. And so letting go is actually, it's a process. But so many people just say letting go. I'm like, if I knew how to let go, I would, and I'm still holding on to it. It's like, but why are you holding on to it, and what do you need to grab onto next? And that is the key to letting go. This is where you find peace, because if you're in a circumstance or relationship to where you feel, I'm afraid of leaving this because I'm going to be alone. I don't be lonely. Meanwhile, you're lonely now. That's what you're really feeling. When you decide to put yourself first and put your well-being and let your heart rule first, you find peace even if you don't have someone in your life. You find the peace. You find the knowing. The intuition illuminates. Your psychic awareness illuminates. You just know, I can see my path clearly. I can see the destination. I understand where I'm evolving into. That opens up for you because you no longer have the distortion in your life that's blinding side and the filter that's filtering you from seeing that. You've gotten rid of that deprivation. So you start becoming more intuitive. You'll say to yourself, I let go of that relationship and I don't feel lonely anymore, even though I feel there's an emptiness, you'll say. The emptiness means that you have clear space right now. The emptiness means it's like a clean slate. That's good. And you might say, even though I feel this like empty space, I don't feel lonely though. And I know I'm going to I know I'm going to meet somebody. I know I'm going to meet people around me that are like-minded like me. I just got to nurture myself. You'll feel all these things that we try to say, that we cheerlead as spiritual leaders, that we try to cheerlead for you. You'll start feeling that naturally. You'll just know that. And so another aspect of letting go, a lot of things people cling to are just trauma responses. And a lot of relationships y'all have been in or haven't yet quite let go of are karmic. Or you have those relationships because you trauma bonded, or you felt pleasure from those circumstances because it's just a fixation or pacifier to trauma. And so we need to identify this. Is this fixation on this person, this relationship? Is this a trauma response? Is this pacifying a wound that I need to heal? Because we can talk about addiction, we can talk about drugs, but we need to understand when we're trying to find even a relationship in our lives that's just filling that loneliness, that's like nothing short of a drug. You're trying to just fill a void. See, when you fill a void, at some point the void will be filled unconsciously, and then you won't need the relationship. And a lot of guys have filled the void to a certain degree, and you're still in the relationship, trying to maintain something that just no longer fits anymore. You know, because relationships are really about their expressions, their compatibility, their interactions, right? And so, especially when we talk about romantic relationships, it's a give and take. It's an experience, it's expression, it's a partnership. And we all have different ways of expressing that partnership through dynamic, whether it be marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, or just casual partner, whatever the case is, whatever works for you. The point is that you understand whatever that expression may be, you're in peace, you're in solidarity about what you feel for yourself and expressing the way it needs to be expressed without having a need, without having a deprivation that needs to be filled. That's the letting go process. That's the freedom, actually. Because clutching on there's a fear, there's an anxiety. I'm clutched, I can't let go, there's a fear. But when you identify that thing that you're clutching onto is creating the fear, and you understand that you want to grab onto freedom, then you find the peace, you find the new beginnings. That's where things start for you, really start for you. That's where things really happen. You see, because a lot of you guys have let go of bad relationships. I think a lot of people in the room today that let go of the relationships, but you're still holding on and clenching to the circumstances. You're still holding on to what was done to you. You're still holding on to, I haven't gotten quite over what they did to me. I haven't gotten over the loss, or like there's still a possibility with this person. That's all not present. This is what we talk about being present. What's currently in your experience now? Are they in your experience now? No. Why are you bringing the circumstance? Why are you keeping it in your present day? And the only reason why you're carrying that, because you haven't extracted the spiritual key from the circumstance, from that situation. So you're still clutching to it because you haven't provided any value from it. You're still letting yourself be scorned by it. But he just hurt me. But he lied to me. I just can't it hurts me so much. Why do you choose to keep inflicting yourself with that pain and keep stabbing yourself over and over? He hurt me. Okay, we got it. Here, now what? Where's the key from that experience? But maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll change his mind. But maybe it's just a possibility. I never felt this way I've ever felt with somebody before. I never felt that with this person. That's all unreliable garbage. Because impulsive passion does not mean love. Impulsive passion is also very addictive energy too. And impulsive passion and connection most times stems from unresolved karma or unresolved trauma. It's addicting this way because true love, true connection it's a peace to it. There's a calm to that. It isn't all this anxiety and excitement. It's very calm and peace and strong and solid. So it's time to get rid of the circumstance and say, what did I miss out from the circumstance? If he was not giving me attention, they were not giving me attention, or she was lying to me, why am I still holding on to being betrayed? What do I need to learn about being betrayed? And what do I need to learn about my choices for myself? And what do I need to learn and to start practicing with my behavior to make sure I'm not experiencing those experiences again? Because surely if I had value myself, I would not allow someone to take advantage of me and even be affected by someone taking advantage of me. When you're strong, if someone takes advantage of you, like, excuse me, no, thank you. You shut it down. You don't ponder. You don't revel in it. Oh my God, they hurt me. You're hurting yourself. It's not them. They're always I would say they are always the subject. They're always the symbol of what you've missed, the lesson you've missed. It's not them. You're not missing them. You're missing the point. I miss him though. I'm like, you miss him even though he cheated and lied on you and was abusive verbally? You missed that? I don't know. You're not missing him. You're missing the point. And that's what the brain will keep bringing that person up as a symbol, as the expression of what's unresolved that you still need to focus on. And if you don't understand what that symbol is, you'll manifest the same search situation yet again. Oh my God, I met someone great. But the same thing. Why they do? Here's another liar. Here's another cheater. It's like, well, you haven't learned a lesson, so it manifested in another circumstance. Understand the patterns. You create the patterns and you're not changing the patterns, which is why the same thing is missing. The same thing is in a wheel, like a hamster on a wheel. Movement, but no progression. Watch my video Soul Evolution. I basically talk about this, how we delude ourselves into things because we manifested all these things in our lives. We manifest these circumstances because we want to feel good and we want to pacify and fill those voids, but there's no progression. It's an illusion of movement. Same shit, different package. So how many of you are still holding on to those circumstances? The what ifs, and maybe it could turn into something. If it did, it would have, and if it isn't, you shouldn't be waiting until it does, because it may never will turn into anything. You need to respond based on what is in the present. This is what we mean by being present, not by I didn't think about the past. Nope, can't think about the future. Just present. Oh, day-to-day, moment. No. Being present means you have to be responding to what is in your present day, responding to your present emotions. And looking at things objectively, because once you identify what the key that you've missed from the circumstance, the unresolved circumstance, you drop it. You let it go. You're like, oh, I deserve better. Oh, I need to look out for myself. I have to stop giving. I have to stop being empathetic to a fault. Oh, I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt and I'm taking a dump on myself. What am I doing? God, he is a narcissist. He's a true narcissist, not the sensationalized narcissist. He really is one. Oh my gosh. That's unattractive to me. No, thank you. And then you start saying, I deserve someone who's like me, who's compassionate, who's transparent, who's emotionally vulnerable, who wants to give as much as wants to receive as I do. And you grab on to that. You grab on. Not just to the circumstance, just to the idea. But not only that, you're grabbing on to the fact that you believe that the focus should be within. I didn't see the card. Right? And I have to address the narcissistic shit for a while. Because that's been such a buzzword the past, 5-6 years, where because you're chasing someone that's not interested in you, you call them a narcissist when you're the narcissist, right? We need to look at this. He won't call me. He won't text me. So I ran by his house. He wasn't home. I called him 5,000 times. He won't call me back. It's like, who's a narcissist here? You're harassing them. They don't have interest in you. Get the key. Move on. Don't start becoming what you detest and start blaming them just because they don't have interest. And a lot of times we get so wrapped up in circumstance that we are blinded to the person we're actually becoming because of those circumstances. And many people do not realize they are actually becoming the narcissist because they think they deserve all this attention. And because they're not getting that attention, they're going to pout. They're going to get readings done and put spells on the person. That's narcissistic. Borderline crazy. Borderline. You can't let your circumstances dictate how you feel. They're unreliable and it'll drive you crazy. You'll start becoming a person that you're not. And you'll start digging yourself a hole. So let's look at the art form to letting go. Identify, why am I holding on to this? What am I holding on to right now? I know subconsciously I have to let go. What am I holding? What is fascinating about this person or circumstance? I know I gotta let go. I know, but but why aren't you? What is pacifying you? You realize just because it's comfortable to be in hope, you find some of you guys find it more comfortable to stay in hope mode than actually being determined and allowing yourself to be open and being vulnerable again. That's scary, being vulnerable. It's like, but you're vulnerable now. You're leaving yourself vulnerable to pain. You're always vulnerable. Let's understand, you're always vulnerable. And the question is, you're being vulnerable to pain and to more repetition the more you hold on to that. So let's understand this. But then ask yourself, what is the key here? What is the lesson I'm supposed to grow from in this? What am I supposed to evolve? How am I supposed to treat myself based on this circumstance? You understand it, you embrace it, you make that realization, you now have to let go. Then you start drifting and start understanding how to create and build a new paradigm and what you're grabbing onto with certainty. And you'll never go back to the past and repeat the past again. Ever. It won't be a repetition. You evolve from it. That's completing the cycle. So stop just trying, I'm letting go. I gotta let go. Stop saying that. Just say, go through the process of letting go. Go through, make that the art form for yourself and your own unique way so you can really, truly be in a conscious realization of where you've gone, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. You got to connect with the past. You got to be in the present to connect with the past to create the future. So, and a lot of people, and the thing people misunderstand a lot of times too is, I just need to be alone. I'm just going to be alone. I don't need anybody. It's like, really? We're part of being a human, being a spiritual being, is that we desire connection. We desire that interaction. So stop fooling yourself saying, I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody around me. I just be alone. Don't go from one extreme to the next, because then you go from deprivation. You think that you're going from one extreme to the next in a sense. You're just changing deprivation. I'm being deprived with a person. Now I'm going to deprive myself by being completely alone. You're not changing anything. You're still in deprivation. So I'd rather be deprived of being alone than be deprived of being somebody else, being with a person. Like that's not changing anything. You're still stuck in deprivation. The key is, and ask yourself is, what can I do to get out of deprivation? What do you want and what you define to be true for yourself that creates the fulfillment when it comes to interactions and connections. We can't help to be connected or want to connect with people. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't spend more time but with yourself. I say, stop saying I'm going to be alone. Say, I need to spend more time with myself. Big difference. Stop saying, oh, I'm alone. I need to be alone. I'm just going to spend more time alone. Just say to yourself, I'm going to spend more time with myself. You never can be alone because you have people you work with. You have people that you're talking to at the store and all that stuff. You have family members that you have to talk to and friends you have to talk to. You're never going to be alone. So let's not be dramatic. Oh, I just need to be alone. You're never going to be alone. The question is, or the solution is, spend more time with yourself. And spending more time with yourself means that you're talking to yourself, you're listening to yourself, you're responding to yourself, you're feeling yourself, right? You're directing yourself. That's putting love into yourself. That's the self-love. You're not doing the self-hatred, self-condemnation shit that we're so privy to with our human collective consciousness anymore, which is embedded in our society. Oh, I don't look right. Oh, my boobs are too small. Oh, my butt's too small. Oh, my butt's too big. Oh, my hips are too small. Oh, the wrinkles. Oh, my hair. Oh, my balding. All this stuff. All these things we do to self-condemn ourselves. It's saturated everywhere. Do you need to invite that into your relationships too? You know, and we talked about the superficiality in our culture, love and lust, that now, you know, people have gotten so lazy of interacting with people because now all they can do is just put on pornographic material, watch the cams and the superficial dating apps and all these things. It's like we've lost sight of what true connections is. That's why we're not happy. That's why our society is chaotic right now, because we lost sight of connection. So now is the time now that Pluto's in Aquarius for 19 years, 18 something years, you know, in months, change months, then now it's really time to stand in integrity to understand what connection means for us. That's fizzling out. The superficiality is fizzling out. Super celebrity culture, that's fizzling. I said this 6 years ago. I mean, a blog is probably still on my website. Talk about celebrity culture is going to be dying. I said, I forecast it dying. It's dying. It's a joke how we reveal these celebrities. And it will change. There'll be people who are leaders still, and then everyone will have their own audience. But the whole revering celebrities and all that crap, and, you know, that's dying. So the superficiality is taking a slow death right now. But that's because we're craving for connection. We are truly craving for the connection, not the accessibility, not the fact I can have it now, because we can have it now, then we burnt ourselves for how many years just we had it now. We're understanding what true connection really is. And that goes in line with our sexual expressions too. You know, finding that balance. So again, the true art of letting go is understanding why are you holding on to it in the first place? And what do you need to grab onto? Understanding that process of evolution, and anything that you're missing from your past or still hung up over your past, you haven't extracted the spiritual key of wisdom from it to make yourself whole. That's it. So this week is an important time now. We need to be focused on integrity. We got to be focusing on, and integrity is a big thing because, like I've been saying, that's the theme for this week or so. Having integrity means that you won't allow yourself to be dismissed by anybody else. You wouldn't allow anyone to deprive you. You wouldn't allow anyone to, you know, overshadow what you need for yourself. Like you're going to find that integrity and stand firm on that, and allowing yourself to feel what true connection really means. So that's going to be evolving. You know, from this point forward, true connections, real connections, the hunger for such. And that doesn't just mean with romantic. We always say relationships. We think marriage or lover. No, we're talking about even friendships and connection with family relationships too. So, you know, you guys should ask yourself, because we all desire for connection. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be online. If you guys didn't desire connection, you wouldn't be on your Facebook. If you guys didn't desire for connection, you wouldn't be on Tinder. If you guys didn't crave connection, you wouldn't be watching YouTube. You wouldn't be watching people's lives at reality television if you desire connection. But we don't understand is we're holding on to the circumstances, which is creating that loneliness. Well, I'm holding on to the fact that, like, I'll get my fix through pornography. I'll get my fix through social media. I'll get my fix through, reality television. I'll get my fix through these apps. But you're creating that loneliness still. I'm looking because I'm afraid of being alone. I'm like, sweetheart, you're alone now. You're not connecting. That relationship, you're alone because it's not connecting. The circumstances you're holding on to and fearful of because you're not connecting. And sometimes just unplug and reconnect and try something sometimes you might just have to just try something else to connect to bring that illumination, So it's really important to identify this. And you all are craving connection. Every single one of you are craving connection. And those who don't get the connection, those people who are, and I went through suicidal ideation. I understand what that's like, that process, because I felt disconnected. No one was connecting. I wasn't connected with anybody. I felt alone at those times. And so being truly disconnected and not having connection is why people take their own lives. The lack of connection to self, to others, to life. So many people are depressed and don't realize it because they're not connected. They're partially connected. They're connected enough just to get them by. Like I said this morning, it's a pacifier. They're just being pacified by these somewhat mediocre connections. It's time to fully connect and allow yourself to be available. And the only way to be fully available to connect is to pull out those fake connections, the superficial connections. Allow yourself to be comfortable with that free space, the clear energy. A lot of you guys are just afraid of hearing your own thoughts. A lot of you guys are just very afraid of hearing what you need to hear. A lot of you guys are running away from hearing the truth, and the truth is actually what's going to empower you. It's going to get you forward. It's going to bring the love in. It's going to bring the understanding and wisdom in. Don't be afraid of that hollow energy. It's a clean energy. It means you have space. It means you're actually free. And so when you look at it this way, then letting go becomes art form to you. You understand it's just about evolving. I'm evolving from this. No need to hold on. I'm evolving. This is how I've evolved. So I'm always like grabbing on, let it go, grabbing on, let it go. And some things I grab onto and we soar together. Or you meet people that are on a similar parallel to you. You grow together. Some of you guys are beating yourselves up too much because you think you got to be a perfect person to have that relationship. If you love yourself and you embrace the fact that you are growing, and you embrace the fact that you're focusing on becoming the person you want to become, honestly and truly from the heart, you can meet someone who's hopped on a similar parallel and grow together with them. Some of you guys are giving yourself so much self-condemnation. Oh, I'm not there yet. I don't have the money yet. I don't look good enough. I didn't lose the weight yet. It's like, well, if you're in process of doing so, you meet someone who's also in process of growing, and they'll love you through it. More self-hate and self-condemnation. Get over that. Get out of that. Because the whole joy actually is meeting someone is growing with someone too in the same parallel, not waiting till you have the job or waiting for all these things. Now, there are certain circumstances that, that call for you to be more focused on career first and all that. But a lot of you guys are just putting limitations on yourselves just because you think you're not the person yet. So, yes, Sarah, reality is reality for a reason. Stop putting your head in the sand. The more you start wishing for something without doing the process and enjoying the art of letting go, the more you stay stuck in nothingness. You stay in a void energy. Disconnected from the future that you're trying to focus on, clutched to the past, but indifferent in the present. That's torture. It's torture. It's painful. It's a void energy. You don't know who you are. You don't know what your purpose is. Because the illusion, well, I'm thinking of the future. I'm imagining, I'm manifesting. It's coming to me. I've affirmed. I visualize. It's there. But yet, your subconscious is clutched in trauma. In the present, you're tormented by who you are currently. You don't love yourself. Therefore, you feel more deprivation because you know your energy does not match that future that you're pretending to grab onto. So remember, the art form is, we can't just say, okay, like, I don't want that. I'm grabbing onto this now. No. There's a process to where you grab onto by recognizing what you're letting go of, what you learned from that, and then what you deserve next. And again, it's not repeal and replace. What I'm saying grabbing onto is a thought form. It's an essence. It's your being. It's your heart. That's very important to understand. So we have to do the work. We have to do the physical expressions, guys. We're here to express physically. To be spiritual doesn't mean we're detached in the heads in the fucking clouds. To be fully focused in physical reality, in your physical persona, is what spirituality is. For me to express Scott Cruz to its highest potential is my soul bleeding through this apparatus of a body. I'm using this body to express the soul, not let the body just do what it needs to do by brain and programming of the brain because of shit I've been through in my past and how that's taking control of how I make decisions. No. I have that full, higher, expanded awareness of understanding what those situations taught me about what has been hurting my soul from generations of incarnations, and things I need to nurture to expand so my soul becomes more vibrant and more expressive. And I express every ounce of that through this physical apparatus and this physical incarnation. That's spiritual. Some of you are trying to learn through sexual deprivations. If you're trying to explore your sexual journeys, good for you. No judgment on that. Some of you are exploring through addiction. No judgment, but there needs to be some fine, monitoring of what you're doing through that addiction process to get it out of your system. Some of you are exploring through very dark, dense circumstances. There's no judgment of such. But we all need to understand, what is the karmic process here? What am I trying to heal? What am I trying to expand right now? Things become more clear. If you ask that simple question, it becomes more clear. And like I said before, letting go becomes that art form. I've held on to this. I understand. I've healed. I've expanded. Now I'm letting go. Now I'm grabbing onto the new idea, new paradigm. That's a natural flow. You'll be great at moving on and letting go. Letting go just means you're evolving. Letting go means that you're growing. Letting go means that you've grown from that. Letting go means that you've increased value. So if you're holding on, you're not increasing the value. And so final card is the three of Pentacles. It's about community, guys. This is my communal card. It's all about community, but this is not just a community card. It's a community card about like-minded individuals. And make sure you're conscious of surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded. People who see things and desire things the same way you do. Get yourself familiar with that. And then, I've always wanted to do like Yeshua. I like to be around every type of group. I'm not affected. But sometimes you guys have to first nestle in with a group of like-minded people to find your self-expression first. As you evolve that, as you expand that, then you can be around so many different types of people and not be affected. I could be around hardcore liberals, not be affected. I could be around hardcore right-wingers and not be affected. I understand why they're thinking what they're thinking, whether I agree with it or not. They're all coming from different karmic paths and journeys. And we all are collectively experiencing this divide and divisive energy because it's part of our karmic journey to experience such. We all have, collectively on the human consciousness form, we all have religious karma that we're trying to get past too from our past incarnations. That's why people jump ship. There's no God, there's no spirit. I'm so holy roller spirit. Now someone's diving to spirituality. We all are trying to release that self-condemnation from religion and past ideologies from our previous incarnations. That's why we all have issues with self-love. Collectively, we all have issues with self-love. That is a general, I would say, issue amongst every single person in this incarnation, in this timeline. So everything that's manifesting and every different dynamics that's happening in our world and divisive nature, because we're all doing it in different ways, but we all have that same mission of understanding what we're trying to evolve into. Some will before others. Some are before, and others are not right now. But when you stay firm and you let go and you understand why you're grabbing onto this newer paradigm, then you maneuver around the chaos. Because this reality is for everybody. You understand, you truly know how to maneuver around the chaos and the negative energy and all the things that are depriving of you. You become very clear and intuitive. That psychic ability becomes innate to you. Okay? So find your connections. Be honest about what you need to connect with. And give yourselves the benefit of actually expressing it. And it could be take little steps of doing it, but get yourself in that momentum of doing it. All right. Okay. Well, here's a quick message from Nina before we get into live readings. Let's see what Nina has to say.
Thursday crew, Thursday crew, Thursday crew. I got a channel message for you, tapped in fresh. When I was sitting and I was meditating and I was asking Spirit, what can I share with Thursday crew today? I kept seeing an imagery of trains, and I was asking Spirit, what is the symbology? What's the importance of train and train tracks? And Spirit was showing me that homies feel like they're on the wrong train sometimes. And the channel messages, you're not on the wrong train. Where you are going is exactly where you're meant to be going. But there's almost this energy of looking around you and being like, well, Bob in my life is gone now, and this other person left that stop. Should I leave that stop too? Am I supposed to? And Spirit's saying that some of those people, places, and things need to be shed. They need to be released because where you're going, it's not the same vibration anymore. You're letting go of an old version of you. And some of those people may have benefited off of this older version of you. And where you're going, you're going to be meeting your higher self, your future self even. And allow this shedding process to take place as gracefully and with as much love as you can. Where you're going again, they're saying to stop checking the ticket of the train. Like, am I going on, are we sure I'm on the right train? And although that's a totally natural question to ask, Spirit's showing me that trust, an element of surrender and trust is needed here with the universe, because I'm giggling because I'm like, what I see in store for you is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. It's just right now there's a little bit of shedding and community changing around you. And that's only to your highest benefit right now.
Beautiful, Nina. Thank you so much for that. And I love the image, the analogy, the imagery, because I was being visual with that. It's true. Think about, you are on this train. There's people on that train, and some people, they get off at a stop, and you got to keep going. You know, it's not your stop to get off of. So, a wonderful analogy on that, Nina, because it's so true. And if we saw life that way, well, you know, we rode together on this train, but now I'm keep going. They're getting off another stop, and you know that's another asset to letting go too. You know, is understanding, well, they're off another stop. I'm going to my destination I have another destination to go on to. So, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Okay, let's get these live readings going, and I've worked it out so my lives don't just end abruptly after playing a video like the last time. There's a couple times that happened too. Okay, so we have the first question is from Katrina S. Let me make sure I can see this clearly here. And there must be a question about love from Katrina because the lover's card is just here. So let's see. Okay, Katrina S. My soon-to-be ex and filed an enforcement against me. How do you see this outcome in my court hearing in March? And question 2, when will my divorce be finalized? Well, I mean, when it's going to be finalized, that's a legal thing. That's not psychically predictable, because there's legalities within, you know, the system that has to work out. And so, like, it's, you know, I can give a general idea on that. So, let me first answer the first question. Guys, sometimes you have to understand, not every question is a psychic question. Like, you know, am I going to pass this test, or, you know, when is this, you know, legal thing going to happen? So sometimes they could be worse. Just like if I see it's in process, I can see the date because it's in process. If it's not in process, it's kind of like, I can give a generality on that. But the same person could make a hypothesis based on understanding the legal system. So we got to be understanding about like psychic related questions when it comes to timing questions like that. So I'm more about psychic, about mentoring and helping, not so much of giving predictive dates, because I think that's not helpful, unless it's correlated into something. I'm here to be psychic for solutions, not psychic for, you know, fortune telling. But let me see about the... I don't know the outcome you're thinking. I think that it's not going to be dismissed. You know, so what he's filing, it feels like, you know, it feels justice. I'm going to say that it feels justice. And when I say justice, means that what you're needing to adhere to, you will have to adhere to, and what he needs to adhere to, and what he's not entitled to, he won't be entitled to. So that's what I feel on this. So I think that, to me, it feels like it's fair for both parties, right? So say if it's like a restraining order, then he gets his restraining order, you just stay away, and he won't stay away, and have it happily ever after and move on, right? So that's what I feel about that. It doesn't feel like all of a sudden, he gets, what he's trying to do gets dropped completely, and somehow you get scot-free. It feels like there's a fairness on, this outcome in that sense, right? And he doesn't get his way just because he wants to, but he also gets some sort of litigation for both you guys. That's what it feels like to me. So when the divorce be finalized, it could be sometime this year, early next year. So like I said before about the timing, it's hard to predict something of this nature because it's in process. So, but it could be sometime this year, maybe the latest earlier of next year is what I feel on that. For Sophia, card pull. Okay. Yeah, and I think with Katrina, you need to I said stop the communication. So if you did stop the communication, make sure there's no more communication with him. Just stop the communication. That falls outside of legalities, Katrina, they're saying. I feel like you're maybe trying to retaliate or something, or you're trying to react, and they're saying just don't react. Let everything be done by legal advisors, not you. Don't respond directly. That's what they're saying on that. Oh yeah, right. Thank you, Iggy. Smack that like button, right? Because I never talk about smacking that like button or subscribing. Subscribe, smack that like button. So far, everybody who watches is subscribed, so that's good. The majority of people. Okay, this is Sophia R. And I need an oracle for this too. Give me a second here. Pedicure, manicure, kitty cat claws. Okay. I feel that, the Two of Wands in reverse means that you need to be more singularly focused right now, Sophia. So if you're wavering between two ideas, you might need to narrow it down to one. I think that the contemplation of why things might not be moving, this could be either with a career or just even with relationships. It just feels very general to me, but it's a card pull. It's meant to be. That they're just saying that you do need to narrow it down to one thing. Stop trying to, juggle, or stop trying to do 2 for 1 deal, type of thing, But really kind of narrow it down to one focus, because you've been speculating too much, right? And they want you to be more in control. You be the dictator of how to navigate between this or that, right? I don't feel this is a situation that's this and that. I think there needs to be one decision, one choice, one direction, because having these two essences or these two ideas or these two people, whatever it is actually what's creating the speculation of the future not moving, or there's being no movement. So if you've been questioning which one, we got to pick one. So that is the question, because you might be trying to make two things work that just they can't work in the same space, so to speak, whether it be people or circumstantial things, whatnot. So, okay, Danny S. Your timing is always impeccable. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, yes, that's being psychic, right? I appreciate the work you do for many. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you, Jenny. I very, very well appreciated that. I'm demisexual. Been single for a while now, working on me. I just wonder if I'm ever going to have a romantic relationship again. One day I'm going to book a full reading. That's cool. Let me see. I have to look up what demisexual is. I forget. Is that just with monogamous? Is demisexual... I think I'm asking ChatGPT, what is demisexual? I think that means you only have sex with marriage or something, or sex with. Okay, demisexuality is a sexual orientation in which a person experiences sexual attraction only after forming a strong emotional connection. Right. So that's like with marriage or something like that. Unlike a lot of sexual videos who may be okay. So demisexuals, people who only have sex, people they're have a strong connection. I'm the same way, actually. I guess I've always been demisexual my whole life. If I don't feel chemistry connection, I ain't touching it. And don't touch me. So let me see. You said you have a deep connection with someone? Is that what you're saying? I have a deep connection with someone. Yeah. Do I ever see you getting into... The answer is yes. Let me get back to your question here so I can... Yeah, of course. I mean, of course you are. I feel like, honestly, I feel like you're opening up to that now. I'm shuffling my cards too, because I'm going to do both on this. I feel like you will. Yeah, I figured not now, because when I read that, I didn't, I didn't say, that's why I say I think you will, right, soon, because I didn't feel now, like, so I didn't take it that way. I think that you will. I feel like you are probably opening that layer up more so this year. And honestly, I do feel like there might be a strong connection with someone that you are able to open up to romantically, but it may not be a long partnership, but you might learn from that, that there's a strong connection that's kind of opening you up. So I feel like that I see kind of two opportunities coming, or two options this year, for that. So there might be two individuals that come in that you feel strong about. And it feels like, again, something that will inspire you. And I think you're going to change your idea of like, I've had a strong connection and we're intimate, but like, I don't want a relationship with them. But, so you might learn more about that expression, So yeah, I feel like this year it's like brewing out of you. You know what I mean? I hate to say this, well, not that I hate to say this, but they're almost saying that you need to be working on more sexual liberation. Not because you said you're demisexual. I've actually always been that way, and I'm very sexually liberated because there needs to be connection, needs to be purpose and interaction with my whole life with any type of sexual expression. But they're saying more sexually liberated as far as like being in control more of your sexual expression. Releasing the inhibitions in a sense. So there still is a restriction, I feel, that's put on sex, right? And you might they might be able to clear that up and let go of some of those vulnerabilities and uncomfortabilities in that sense. So yeah, I definitely feel that is what this will teach you. So there might be a relationship that is, comes in. It's like, yeah, it's not long-term partnership, but there's such a connection. But it teaches you about like letting go and being truly immersed in your own sexual expression and with your body and with your vulnerability, that's why I feel coming in, no pun intended. That's why I feel is like, going to present itself. And I feel like there's two circumstances that might do so. So yeah, I definitely feel like a wonderful upgrade, a wonderful upgrade on that. Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense because I wasn't sure if it was making sense to me. Does that say teach or preach? So yeah, so embrace that. I think it's good. It's like, it feels like it's right around the corner. Thank you. I would hope so. Otherwise, I need a new job if I'm not spot on in 12 years. I don't know what to tell myself. But so thank you. I expect to be even more spot on the more years I do it. So, but thank you for that validation. Okay, Kristen V. Card pull. All right. Yes, Iggy. I knew. I hopped on it. I hopped on it a bit quicker than you did. Before you did. That's what she said. Because I knew you were going to get to that. All righty. I'm surprised I haven't done much of the innuendos. In my personal life, I'm so crass. But I feel like there's a time and place for that, and some people are not. It might turn a lot of people off. But I'm usually I'm so unfiltered in my everyday life. I like to have fun. I like to break the norms of things, and no filter is my mouth. Villarreal, right? Is it Villarreal? Kristen, right? Kristen Villarreal? Yeah, I would think so. I think I got it right. Okay, we have... Huh. Let me sit on this for un momento. Because sometimes when the queens and the knights and the empress comes up, I want to make sure it's people or an essence. So I'm going to psychically tune in. Is that a person? Okay. Thank you for that clarification. All right. This is like there's dynamic to this card pull, and I don't want to go be too long-winded because it's a card pull. I feel like you don't need to be looking anymore for what you think you need to find. Like, you need to just maybe stop looking and allow yourself to just experience, especially when it comes to relationships. I think someone might be coming in from the past, or someone from the past might be resurfacing, and coming back in your life. I don't necessarily feel like that's anything that's going to be like just going to turn to like any type of long-term thing, but I think there's some sort of like rekindling of the past, or it feels more like validation from the past that comes in your life. And I feel like things will be moving quickly for you, not just with this, but just generally speaking. Because then when the Empress card comes in, it's really kind of saying that, you're taking control, and you will be taking control. This is more predictive. You're going to be taking control more of how you're delegating your relationships, but also with things that you're doing in the future. And the Queen of Pentacles is my nurturing card, but also is my real estate card too. So you might look into something with real estate, So whether you get a new place, or you decide, hey, I'm looking at buying, or you get an investment property, or you actually do real estate, something of that nature, you might connect somehow that way. Because that King of Pentacles is my nurturing energy, but it's also my like financial investment card too. Someone's really good at money and finance. So that also might be a shift that happens this year quickly for you too. So I see a lot of quick change, fast change in that sense. As far as like the past resurfacing, like there's children in the picture. So a lot of times the past says like going back to like your childhood, or it just might be, children from the past in a sense. So if you look at the card there, you see the two kids there. So that could also be a card like going back to your inner child, or, or maybe is a child or family or something of that nature. But I feel like this revamping of the past is what actually pushes you forward because of whatever validation it is. You know what I mean? So the real estate thing or investment thing, something is not going to make sense now, but it's because it's a prediction. It'll make sense this year about whatever you invest in with real estate, or whatever you put your money in that sense, and how that'll make sense. But generally speaking, because you don't know that, I really feel it's more about, you being really good with your finances, and taking control of your finances on the general level of that. All right. So it's card pull. So it's meant to be general and simple. So, see, you got a lot of movement cards. Again, action card comes out of that. So that's a lot of action. That's a lot of movement, right? And the discernment I love that the oracle cards are kind of like reflecting the tarot, because the discernment's almost like in correlation to what the Empress card is. Like, the self, your power, you're using your intuition, you're using your discernment. And that's helping to like really allow yourself to things to come into your life quicker, things to create more movement and quicker movement in your life, right? So, and I like that the will card comes too, because it's all about, that's the Empress card too, that inner energy. So, so the emotional aspect of this is saying that you're taking control now. You're driving this, you're steering the ship here now. So that's good. So, but allow the past to come in to validate you, and that will push you forward. And I do see a great essence of you taking control of your finances this year too. So, alrighty. Next up. Ching, ching, batter, here, swing, batter, batter, swing, is Sydney Aaron. I don't know why I did that. Swing, batter, batter, swing, swing. Okay, Sydney, where's your freaking question here? It just goes to, okay. Okay. Sydney, you're silly. Where's my man? How will I know? Really, Sydney, is that the question you're saying you're giving to me right now? Where's your man? Let me, just a general question. Let me kind of tap in here and just kind of see what we're going with it. And I don't know, I'm just starting to hear that song. How will I know if he's thinking of me? I'm just starting to hear that now in my head because you asked that question, how I know. How will I know? Right? I actually like that song. I love me some Whitney, right? I don't see like romance this year. Right? I knew you could think of that, but no. I don't see like full romantic connections here. It's just not the year for that. Well, let me clarify. It's not the year for like head-on relationships. You'll have different forms of romance this year. So, but the first part, I feel it really connects in with, you feel first connecting with actually, women. I feel meeting women connections are really joining forces with other women, actually, and really finding a safe haven with other like-minded women and a sisterhood. So I feel that coming in first, and then all of a sudden you start really having more. Maybe that's why you like this morning's LOL, because I feel like you're having more, it's like sexually oriented relationships, more casual relationships. I feel that, right? So I feel like you're building sisterhood connections, and also you're allowing yourself to have more like maybe intimate, like casual, intimate relationships that are still thriving and connected. And then after, I think 2026, you might be looking at something more like dating. But, you're just deprived sexually. I hate to say this. You're just deprived yourself sexually. I do not think that you are looking for a head-on relationship right now. That's why your soul's not finding that. But I definitely think that you are looking for intimacy. So, but I think you'll find that connection, like I said, of like-minded women that are nurturing. And then I see that you finding a more like kind of casual relationships and allowing yourself to be more sexually free and having that expression of intimacy. And this is okay, guys. We don't have to all be looking for a relationship of marriage. Not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants monogamy. That's okay. Every expression is an expression of what the Spirit's trying to learn and learn life through. So we got to stop judging other people and ourselves. Some people learn to polygamy. If it's all mutual and they're all in an agreement and alignment, let them experience that. They're learning through life that way. There's a different evolving of perspective. So even for yourselves, sometimes you might say, I just want to express intimacy. I want to express my innate, sexual desires. Do so. Do it. Go for it. And that must mean that many of you guys might just need to love your bodies and put love into your bodies, because you're living in your body. And if you're ashamed of it, there's a lot of shame internally, if obviously, because the how you feel with your body is a reflection of how you feel about yourself internally. So yeah, I really feel like, Sydney, that you'll be kind of embracing more of those kind of like casual, intimate and spontaneous connections, like a summer love, that's just for the summer, that's very, very spicy, like something of that nature. God, now I sound like one of those cliche psychics now. Boy, let me stop before I get ahead of myself on that. But yeah, that's what I see for you in that way. Oh my gosh, is Bright Light Vicar really doing the eggplants? Really, with the guys, eggplants? Whoever thought about the eggplants? I mean, if it's the Chinese eggplant or Japanese eggplant could be more, but like an eggplant, come on, that's unrealistic. Why didn't we use a banana emoji? I don't know, but people are silly, aren't they? Oh, that's so sweet. I gotta take a compliment. Hello, oh my God, you look so cute tonight. Love you. Oh, thank you so much, Bright. You're such a bright light, Becca Boo. I love you. Thank you for that. I love the name and I love the picture. All right, next is Katie Wright. This is for my mom, Anne. Will my husband and I be relocating in the next few years? Yes. Yes. Relocation thing is so obvious. I think, and again, for Anne, I think that maybe your husband is like kind of the one that's going back and forth on it. And I feel like you're back and forth on it too, but I feel like you're more set on moving in the next few years. It might happen sooner than you think. So the preparation might be done by later this year to really set your sights on it. I just think your husband's like, yes, but he's also like, no, but your husband feels like, back and forth on it. He feels very Pisces about it. This, but yes, but that, but yes, but this, but yes, but that, but I feel like you guys will come to a understanding and a realization of where you guys really want to settle and move. So yeah, I definitely feel that, And again, it feels like sooner than you think. I feel like I see preparations for a move, probably October, November of this year. So by fall, right? Some preparations to maybe move and set your sights and what to do for the following year. So yeah, I mean, when you ask a question, like my immediate response is yes. So that's very affirmative and definitive on that. Yeah, I feel like something with his work changes too, to allow him to, or something of that nature, you know, or he's afraid of it with work, but I feel like all that works out with his work or something of that nature. So that's all good to me. Yeah. Yeesh. Let me just double check on PayPal now really quick, because I have to make sure I'm going back and forth in order, because some people do PayPal. If I don't get any more PayPal, I may just keep it just to Venmo. You know, keep it simple, so I don't have to keep going back and forth to platforms. Because I get PayPal ones, but they're usually not that many. And yet, watch me log in, and it's like a lot. Okay, yeah, no one's done PayPal tonight, so good. So maybe I could just stick with the Venmo. That was almost like, you know, solidifying my question here. Next is Abby Co. Random card pool. We do need some strong males on, don't we? I'm going to say this because I see this question. You know, we got to get over this like spirits attached to me thing. Like, doesn't quite work that way. You know, if you feel like there are spirits attached to you, stop dialing them in. Or stop leaving vulnerabilities within yourself that would attract such. And I wanted to answer this question and be more general about it, because it's not I'm not answering the question specifically, say yes or no to you, Jennifer, because, you know, I want to honor those who paid for questions. But I think people who see this will be curious about this, is that there are parasitic energies, like we call it spirit or entities, that feed on free energy. Whatever people are giving, when you're in depressed energy, you're in anxiety, you're in fear, you're just giving energy away, because fear and all that energy is useless to the soul if we're not learning from it. So we're just dumping and exhausting energy. So there are lower level parasitic entities that will feed on that energy. So you might feel like there's some attachment. You're being a host for those lower level entities that are parasitic, just like a virus that we have in our body that we're the host of, and they feed off of whatever, and a virus in our system. Do we call it evil because they're just looking for life and try to feed on life? No. But we have to ask ourselves, where and which aspects of our lives are we being vulnerable for these parasitic energies to leech off of? And you also have to understand, you have connections with people, psychic connections with people that you're getting pulls and attachments from too, that you're getting a reception of energy or a give and pull of energy. So shut down. I would say not cut them, but think of your connections to people like a water faucet. Turn them up, close them. You're never going to cut the ties of people of your past. You learned from them, so they're part of you. But turn off the faucets to them. Because then, like, if you have someone you still connect with, you'll feel their thought forms. I'm just feeling this energy. It's like, because you're not over the past energy. You're not over the past. So you're still considering, oh, what are they thinking? Where are they? And so you have that pipeline open. Close the pipeline. So especially if you guys have, empathetic and psychic awareness, you'll be privy to those unattended to connections. You'll feel drained, don't know why. You'll feel like there's spirits around you, but you don't know why. There's no ghosts in your homes. There's no spirits that are clinging to you, right? So understand about the parasitic energies and understand closing the faucets to all those connections of people that don't need to be active anymore. Watch what happens. Watch what changes, and also keep your channel, your perspective, your intuition refined, and dictate what you want to read. Dictate the things that you want to tap into. Saying, I'm just open to intuition. I just get so much information. Don't do that. And that's not just for you, Jennifer. It's people listening who just say, I have abilities. I just get everything. I just get all this information. It's like, well, narrow it down. We don't got to open up the door, let everybody in, And so there has to be a process of understanding our channel too. So no, there's no such thing as spirits attaching to us and all that garbage. It doesn't work that way. We are in density. So, the only things that would cling to us is those parasitic energies clinging for life. It's not evil. Higher level spirits, they don't give a fuck. They're in power. They're out of density. They don't need power. We find we're the ones looking to spirit for power and insight. It's not them. So this spiritual hogwash that we've been taught for so long about the demons and you know, it's just not how it is. And that's what keeps you fearful about spirits. I'm afraid of doing something negative. The only thing is scary that happens is your own reflections of your own fears manifest. That's when people do, you know, mushrooms, they do, you know, DMT or do these, you know, psychedelics. Some have wonderful experiences. Some have horrible experiences. I saw the devil. It's like, well, why do you think that you're the devil? Why do you think everything in life is evil? That's going to manifest. Come to terms with it, right? So these are wonderful teachers, you know, what we're experiencing. So, but yeah, that stuff doesn't happen. And the things we call hauntings and houses we call it residual energy. And that's why it's important to energetically clean your spaces out, because, you know, there could be a traumatic event that happens in a location and that energy is festering there. No one's really done it. And then everyone who's moved in there also had trauma. They're just dumping, you know, energetic crap there. So, you know, we're in an energetic soup. We move energy around. We don't just, it doesn't just evaporate. It changes form. We shift it around. So that's why it's really important that we understand our energetic spaces, that we're also not attaching or connecting with residual energies in a location that could also be relating to our negative traumas and so forth too. That happens a lot. And how do I know this? I was raised, when I grew up in a house with a poltergeist and I had abilities. I'd understand, what the fuck is this, you know? And I understood it doesn't just seem rational that spirits like knocking on doors, unless it's like a loved one making a point to say hello, right? So yeah, I think that, you know, I might even, I've done a lot of, I think, shows about this. I'm almost at my 100th episode, by the way. I think this is my 90th. I'm almost at 100. So I'm going to do a big one for my 100th, maybe something new or whatnot. But almost at my 100th, can you believe that? Almost my 100th episode, live episode. I'm that's kind of interesting. Just a little over a year. So whoop, whoop, right? And I'm looking up and the numbers are great. Okay, but great question, Jennifer. Very, very good question. That helps a lot of people too who might be feeling that. So great question on that. Let me skip over the card pull. There's too many card pulls back to back. They get exhausting back to back. Janelle Staib? No, I get it right. Staib, right? Yeah. Will being a step parent be fulfilling enough over emptying my bank account for a surrogate or adopted child? I can't answer that question for you, my love. You know, I'll guide you on this. Like, I can't tell you it's gonna be more fulfilling for you. It's not my job. It's not my job to tell you that in a situation like this. But I think you're always. I will say this in this way. I feel like you're always going to have that desire for your own, right? And yes, you will definitely find fulfillment in being a step parent, but there's that passion of wanting it for yourself, and the passion of like having your own child and nurturing your own is what's brewing within you. And so I want you to really identify how important it really is to you. The problem I'm finding what you're doing with this, my love, is you're trying to dismiss that. So, and don't think about empty your bank account. Forget about all that. Ask yourself, is it really my purpose right now to have my own child? This is a decision for you. This isn't like some sort of destiny that I can predict for you. This is something I have to guide you through. But I feel your heart, if it doesn't come to terms with it, it would always feel deprived, even though being a step mom will be fulfilling. You will always feel deprived because you haven't come to terms with the fact of having your own child. You know, and having your own, that's your own child, you know, in that sense. So once you get past that, then you might say, no, stepchild's cool, or yeah, I don't need to adopt now or have a surrogate because being a stepmom is just as great. Come to terms with the actual essence of having to have your own. And you might recognize it really isn't about that. It's really all about just nurturing and being a mom and having a role of nurturing my child. You know, so once you come to terms with that emotion, then it wouldn't matter if it's surrogate, adopted, or through a step parent. You'll be just having that role will be fulfilling enough for you. You know, so it's not a yes or no question. Is more dynamic to that. You know, but I feel like it's possible for you to resolve that. Like, I need to have my own child. It's my own thing. When you resolve this and understand it's a spiritual soul connection of nurturing and nurturing in that motherly way, and that's good enough for you, then yes, then being a step parent can be just as fulfilling, you know, in that sense too. So I think probably maybe test out being a step parent for a while and then see how that goes, and then adopt, and then leave it open for adoption in that sense. But I just feel it's more of an emotional response that I think that you need to really come to terms with, right? What would be the difference of nurturing an adopted child, a surrogate, or a stepchild? Would there be really a difference between the soul connection? Right now, I would say if your stepchild is a disaster, you might want to adopt your own, right? Because therefore you want to find a child that you connect with. But I'm not feeling that energy of a stepchild being a disaster. I don't feel that. I feel that the stepchild would actually be, will be pleasant. It's just like, but it's not mine though. It's like, but it doesn't matter. Even adopting is not yours either. So the circumstances should not matter for you. And I think that when you resolve that, it'll be great. It'll be great for you. And I don't feel like a stepchild will be a brat, in a sense. There's always going to be some sort of challenge, but I feel like when you see it that way, yeah, then you'll be like, this is fulfilling because I'm still being mom, And I see a lot of step parents who are better parents than the actual parent, and and that's so important for the child, And I think that I feel like you being in that role of like you realize you're playing a better role than the real mother, and that's almost like what the calling really is for you, so that's how I see it playing out, if that makes sense. So enjoy that, and understand it doesn't necessarily have to be your own, even though it's either way, it's coming from another person anyways, right? So having a stepchild is actually almost like it's more aligned because it's at least half of the person that you love, right? So yeah, so I like the stepchildren energy. They feel great to me. So, I would say embrace it and resolve the idea of it having to be yours or, that you've, created in that sense. Just resolve that. It's not really that necessary. All right. But yeah, you feel like it could be a great stepmom, It's awesome. I hope that helps. It's all gonna work out. It'll be fine. You're gonna feel great about it. It's all gonna be great. Card pull for Kate. Thank you, Kate. All these nice messages I get. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet, love. Yeah. You're just, again, the stepchild that I feel like is just beautiful, awesome, and like I said, being that it's like half of the person that you love is not like even better, right, than just maybe a surrogate or adoption. So I know there's more, but like there's one that stands out to me the most. So correct me if I'm wrong. If there's one child that stands out to me the most that really has a bond with, that you have a bond with. And so nurture that, so that's good. All right. You have great energy. One of my stepkids, I'm practically the main mom. There we go. Well, slap me silly, call me psychic. That's what I was saying to you. Yeah. So yeah, understand that you're being a better mom than the mom, right? Embrace that. Cherish that. I love that. Wonderful. I love that. I love seeing that. I love seeing spirit aligning a step parent to be in the child's life when they have a deprivation of the other parent. I love that. It's wonderful. They'll grow up thanking you. They'll grow up basically calling you mom. Janelle, they'll basically call you mom, and they'll be so thankful that you raised them, and they'll say, I don't care if it's not my biological mom, she's my mom. That is so, just think of how meaningful that will be. So you basically have it at your fingertips. I love that. Love it. I'm so, for step parents like you, I'm always so grateful for when I see that. Huge impact. Okay, Kathleen, this might sound funny. This is funny. Okay, so this is like poverty card, but this is Page of Cups is like a new invitation, love, whatever. And so for me, they're saying you're coming out of a dry spell sexually, or a sexual dry spell is about to be over. So talking about sex and love, and maybe you'll be getting some expressions by Valentine's Day. So if you're single, you might find some sort of sexual interaction. If you're not single, then you'll find somebody, maybe that sexual expressions will, the dry spell will be over, or maybe you just haven't really been feeling to be sexual for some time, and that just comes out of you, right? So, or it could be all the above that I'm feeling, right? So I feel like a breakthrough, with your sexual expression, you know, and also someone kind of, you know, bringing it out of you and coming out of that, like that dry spell. But that also could be, generally speaking, that you're coming out of a dry spell, just emotionally, you know, in a sense, and, you know, and newer people around you. So I'll even kind of be more general with that too, because I feel like all the above is true. So yeah, this is great. So like, you know, enjoy this new essence and getting out of your dry spell. Enjoy this fact of having new invitations from people around you, and go with it. You know, don't question it too much. Just saying because you question things too much a little bit. So don't question it. You know, observe it. When I say don't question it, let me be clear here. We should always question things, but don't question as far as like when you know what it represents. Don't like, oh yeah, but, you know, I would say don't doubt what you know to be true. I think that's a better way of saying it, because we should be questioning things. So, well, what does this mean? That's good. But don't like start like sabotaging it because of doubt. I think that's a better way I want to say that, because I always say we should question things. It's good to question and get information. But it's good to question yourselves, but just don't doubt yourself. Just don't doubt what you know to be true. All right, Kate Spade. All right, last but certainly not least, let me make sure the PayPal stay logged in. Why they gotta log me out? Like, Jesus, like keep me logged in, right? You know, I haven't been away that long. I'm gonna log me out. Last but certainly not least, and we'll close down the readings now. Nina, if you could simplistically announce that readings have been closed. Last but certainly not least, I don't want to miss out on the fun. Thought you could be my Oracle du jour. Oracle du jour. Let's see. No, Abby, I did yours. Didn't I? Yeah, I did yours, Abby. Yeah, I did yours, Abby. Did you miss it? Nina, can you do me a favor? Can you somehow scan the recording and see if I did Abby's, because I know I did, and that would have been like three reads ago. Double check on that. It would have been right after Katie. Can you double check on the feed real quick? Can you do that, Nina? Because I believe I did. But if maybe I'm in an alternate reality. If I didn't, I'll redo it. And I'll do this for Sarah's real quick. Okay. Okay, well, maybe I just saw it. Then can you just, Abby, because the card pulls are going to, can you ask me a question in the chat? And I'll respond to a question. I just pay for card pull, but just the card pulls back to back, and that maybe I stepped over that because of that. So I'll trust you on that. So if you can ask a question in the chat, and I'll answer the question instead of doing a card pull. We'll do it that way, because I'm doing these card pulls back to back. I'm doing one now, and they get redundant, and they're just not. It's hard to connect with just like reading a card, and actually requires more bandwidth. Actually. Interesting. So, for Sarah, you're getting the devil card in reverse, but I feel like it's be reversed. And no, Nina, you're fine. You're fine. I trust her. She said, and I trust it. Just don't worry, Nina. We're good. It's good. I probably, because I saw the picture on the Venmo, so I might have thought I did, but somebody else. So I trust her. We're going to answer a question after this. Why we don't do it with Sarah's? So Sarah, they're kind of saying you got to integrate spirituality, sexuality, right? Spiritual desires blending in with physical desires. So because it's coming in both the reverse and upright position, integrating the two, right? Queen of Pentacles is all about nurturing, so that's a really great thing. That's like about a nurturing energy, so like nurturing both aspects of spirituality. So basically what we talked about this morning, love and lust, understanding both need to go hand in hand. There could be a positive aspect of lust and yearning for someone. There could also be a negative aspect of lust, which is addictive and degrading and so forth. And then understand where that love fits in the middle of that. So really understanding both aspects of such, because you've been primarily focusing on the lust aspects in your past relationships. It's reading, and then you form connections based off lust. Oh, but he's hot. He's so this, and then it starts from hotness and then evolves. And I that was my past too. My current partner, it's actually the lust is growing from the love actually. So I love it that way actually, that my current partner has been that way, that, the attraction has been building because of love, and it came with the love first. So yeah, you have to integrate the two. And the Queen of Pentacles, again, like I said before, it's about nurturing both aspects of such. You need to have the love with the lust, in a sense, not lust first and then trying to find the love through the lust. Not happen. It's not going to happen. So that understanding is what's necessary, as well as the Queen of Pentacles. This is also saying that again, working with new property, right? So this is my nurturing card, but also being good with money and being in control of your money. So the Queen of Pentacles has been really coming out a lot for a lot of people, which is great because it's very, very nurturing of money. That's where money manifests. When you nurture your finances, you nurture, everything great about, your finances, looking at every penny. And this is what I tell a lot of people too. It's like people think like, oh, I'm manifesting wealth. This is my year of wealth. Claim it. And I see stupid posts on social media. It makes me want to like fucking gag. It's like you see his post, you're going to receive a blessing in 3 hours. Claim it. And they're like, amen, amen. All the praying hands. I'm like, oh my God, this is disgusting. You're sitting on your ass. Oh, money's coming in 3 hours. Thank you. Amen. All that crap. It's so stupid. No, Nita, Abby's fine. We're going to answer her question. We got her. I'm just finishing Sarah's card pull, but yeah, we're going to answer Abby's question. Everything's good. She got her Venmo. She's great. I just overlooked it by accident. So really nurturing your money means like you're like actually going in, you're looking at everything that's going out. You're nurturing every penny. You're nurturing, you're building the relationship with finances. And Sarah, I know, has been doing that. So you're peak of this, Sarah. So you've been great at this, Sarah, about that. So, but those, it's spawning a conversation I want to mention because many people think just because they affirmed it, somehow money's coming in, but yet they're exhausting. They're not appreciating the pennies that come in or pennies that go out. They're not monitoring. And what if your money was a child? Would you just give your child to anything and without thinking, just throw it out there just because? Or you'd be very kind of, concerned and very, hesitant of where you're dropping your child and giving your child to. Same thing with your money. Be hesitant what you're spending your money on and what pennies going in and out. Appreciate everything that you're making. That's how you manifest wealth, because you're understanding how to nurture money, and then you start building. It starts growing. That momentum grows, and it starts blossoming and blossoming and blossoming. And I've had this issue in my life when I look back and I was like, I always made good money. I started working when I was 15. I got my first job walking to work because I just wanted to have my own money. I always been determined no matter what. I always made good money, but my problem I was having is like, I make a lot of money, but I don't see it. Why am I not saving? Why don't I have, in my 30s, why am I not buying a house if I make a lot of money? Because I was wasting it. I wasn't even conscious of what I was spending it on. I was being too like, oh, just do this and just like whatever, and not paying attention. The minute I started paying attention to what's coming out and reserving, giving myself a weekly budget and nurturing it, my account started going grow. And I put all the emphasis and effort into putting value into my work, and that brings in more. That's how you manifest money, not by visualizing, sitting on your fucking couch and writing affirmations. That doesn't do anything. And affirming on a freaking social media post, I claim it is coming. It's not how you do it. And I know Sarah specifically, she's been great with her finances, and that's why the Queen of Pentacles came for her. She's been monitoring, great with her investments. She's been like being diligent about how to get return on investments and so she's got properties and so she's doing well. And so she's gonna have more of that this year. And then more great investments on that, but bring that nurturing energy back into your relationship, Sarah. Bring that nurturing energy back into, understand that the physical and spiritual. Don't bank on just the lust and then trying to find love through lust. You're not going to find it. You'll be disappointed. And passion through lust is not love either. So many people misunderstand. I had this lust relationship. It was so passionate, but I love them. They love me. It's like, no, there's no love in that. It's just passion. It's just passion of lust, right? So yeah, so that's what it is. What'd you say? I noticed more of a casual attitude about sex, but now I'm really stepping back and taking it one step at a time, because once I go there, next thing I know I'm checked. Yeah, exactly. So you, in your case, you need to start to take a step back and maybe look for emotion and then sex, right? Some people need to, maybe stop with emotion, maybe express their sexuality more. You need to express the connection first more, right? So some people are on either side of the spectrum, so that's what they're saying. All right, Abby, what's the question? Okay, be specific on the question. Just not anything about health. Can you, a specific question for me? So like say, Scott, what do you see by this? Or can you tell me, just what's a more refined question, Abby? Help me help you. Hello? Abby, I'm waiting for the question. Inside this health journey going forward, any improvements? Okay, that's better. I have to ask the question too, like, why is the music playing right now? When it said that you asked the question, the music started playing, Abby. I don't know if that's a sign or something, but that was funny. I have to look about why there is a health issue, but yes, the sun card, but get more sun, get more vitamin D, right? So yes, and the Hermit card in reverse, right? So that's also saying that you're coming out of your shell, you're coming out of that. So yes, I do feel that way. I actually feel an emotional trepidation of actually being healthy. I think you've made getting healthy or something of that nature comfortable for you. Stop making a health conquest comfortable for you. Do you know what I'm saying? So many guys, and I've talked about this before, Abby, and a lot of other shows about like stop healing, start growing. So many guys are you've made healing your thing, you've made healing your hobby. When there's nothing to heal, it's just about let yourself grow now. And that's kind of the message I feel for you. Like stop letting healing being your hobby. And now just allow yourself to grow and then allow yourself to express. And, and so, yeah, so getting this is like literal, where, get some actual sun, but also like find the enjoyment now and stop making healing your hobby in that sense. And yeah, you're coming out of the shell in a sense. So that's the energy being renewed in a sense. So I do definitely feel that kind of realization this year. And the Tower in the reversed, this is a change, so it's like, this is like major change. This is like a change in a sense of like evolution, So yeah, but just, you're really seeing a lot of it's attitude, and a lot of it's like, how your emotional deprivations make you sick, make you fatigue. You have energy you're not expressing, it's making you fatigue. So you need to find ways of expression, getting that energy out. So I really think a lot of the health complications are being perpetuated by that emotional dip, But I want you to understand it's not a health journey as much as it is a evolution of realization of you, right? And trying to really understand the things that lower frequency, that lower energy, and they're just saying to stop thinking you need to be fixed all the time too. You know what I mean? Because then you're going to microscope, because you could be healing and be healed, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, but let me look deeper. There's something else I got to fix. Uh-oh, my stomach felt a little bad today. Do I have a stomach ulcer? Oh my gosh, let me look deeper. Oh my gosh, like I had a headache today. It's like, oh my gosh, do I have cancer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're falling into those patterns they're saying when you're actually getting better, but your microscoping is making you think that you're getting worse when you're not, because you're micro-focusing on normal conditional responses, So, and a lot of the illnesses people are exhibiting is, one, being emotionally deprived because they're connected to the collective energy. They're too tapped into the collective. Nina could tell you that. I've been telling her this for a while, helping work Nina through, her empathy and her abilities, because she can feel the collective energies. And so a lot of what she feels is really just a collective. So again, right now, we have to understand that we have to detach from the collective and the emotional deprivations that will cause serious health conditions. That will cause serious health conditions and health karma, right? They don't just come out of nowhere, right? And so we got to look at it that way. And so you primarily, Abby, have to understand, get in the sun, get some more sun, start tapping into essences that are not just about fixing yourself, And not just about healing, but about breathing and about expressing. Big difference. Big difference. And I want you to rewatch this again so this can permeate and understand what that really means. And you're not microscoping through things too and give yourself more of a stress emotionally and exasperating the conditions that already exist because you're putting more stress on what you're microscoping things on. Okay? Detach from the collective right now. Do not absorb it. Understand that you're absorbing way too much. And that's putting more pressure, and that slows down the process of growth. I don't want to even say the word healing anymore. I'm so over the word healing. Healing is a natural process. But the things that people are doing that's distracting from healing, like you do not have to, do the healing yourself. Your body heals on its own. What people are not doing is they're not growing. They're not learning. They're not growing emotionally and consciously. So take control, do what you've done. It's good to take care of the physical body with the physical things. It's great. But start getting insight into the emotional deprivations and heaviness that keeps you stuck and keeps that energy down in health deprivation. Remember, it's inward outward, not outward inward. I feel health issues, now I feel bad. It's like you felt bad that created the health issues. It's always inward outward. We got to remember this. It's not outward, now I feel this way. Outward, now I feel this way. That is not how it works. And if you see life this way, you'll always be a victim to reality. You'll always be a victim to circumstances. Again, now, Abby, this is just for the collective. I'm being inspired to say this because of your question. But many people watching to think that like, oh, I feel this way because I was sick. I feel this way because of the relationships. Like, but you generated this sickness. You generated the relationship because of deprivation, what it might be through your behaviors and actions. You generated that. You allowed that person to dump on you to where you feel responsible and degraded yourself. You are the one that chose that. We are in control. This is not victim blaming here. It's actually saying you have the power. We have the power. We're not using our power wisely. I know a lot of the law of attraction bullshit is done that victim blaming, but we're not supposed to see that way. We're supposed to see every situation as teaching me more about what I need to grow into. That's all. It's empowerment. That's what it really is. You not to blame yourself. It's like we're evolving. It's like, did we blame ourselves because we didn't know how to ride a bicycle and we fell off the bike? Did we blame ourselves? Like, it's okay. We fell off the bike. We get back. We learn. And the more we learn, be more comfortable with doing so. Then we become more confident and we ride the fucking bike. And now we can do it with our eyes closed, right? Same thing with life. We don't judge ourselves because we're struggling or have a challenge about something, but we understand we have the power to understand what it is, be comfortable with it, and to steer the wheel properly to go where we want to go and to master it. Period. It's inward, outward. So what is coming on inwardly that's expressing your health outwardly consistently? And a lot of it's past trauma and past karma manifest. So we got to stop focusing and microscoping the physical conditions. We need to attend to the physical condition, yes, but we have to find the root cause of what the problem is why the problem is manifest. Otherwise, you'll continue this journey of healing for the rest of your life. I'm healing. I'm still healing. I've been healing for decades. Doesn't work that way. And sometimes we have conditions that are ingrained with us that we're supposed to carry because of karma. Then we know how to navigate those conditions, not get rid of them. It's like telling a blind person, oh, keep working on getting your eyesight back. It's like, no, they're blind. They'll be blind for the rest of their lives. That is their challenge. That's their karmic limitation for them to learn more, to gain more insight into physical life. They've chosen to have that limitation of sight. So we all identify what is my health karma that is going to be with me for my lifetime, but is a way I can actually navigate my learning lessons through this incarnation. Bing, 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 ding, ding. Lights go off. We stop wasting money on healing. You might have a health condition that fatigues you where you can't exert and bring on too much energy in your life, and that's your karma to learn. I got to stop absorbing. There you go. And this health condition is going to remind you for the rest of your life to stop absorbing, because when you do, you're going to be sick. You're going to be sick. Very simple. And so this is how we got to see our health issues. If we don't, you'll be healing for the rest of your lives, going to every convention, nothing's happening, go to this guru, giving all this power to some fucking fake healer. You'll be in desperation mode. Your purpose is not to heal. Your purpose is to grow. And your purpose is to understand whatever limitations you have is kind of like the parameters of the physical life of what you're trying to learn. Period, right? So, I think we look at these things all wrong, man. All wrong. Nina, can you timestamp this, please? This segment here in the comment section, not in the chat, but in the comments. Timestamp this around this time, whatever time it is, because I want to cut this portion into a little video for Instagram. So if you can actually just like cut this up or put a timestamp in the actual comments, whatever this kind of started around, just so I know, because I want to cut this segment into a video. I think I need to put that out there. People are looking at healing all wrong. All wrong. All wrong. And then healing becomes their hobby. And it's like they're not evolving. And most people, it's like you're trying to heal something you're not supposed to heal. You know, I always say I have there's health issues in my life that I've maintained that I understand that manifests when I'm being a burden to myself. And when that neck pain manifests in my life and the headache manifests, I'm being in pain in my own neck because I'm allowing people to be in pain in my neck, and I have to stop it. When I stop it, it goes away. And it only comes up, my neck problems, when I'm doing that to myself. So it's a fucking reminder. So ask yourself this, Abby, what are you dealing with that you're not going to heal, that's just going to be undercurrent in your life to teach you to stay in balance? A lot of your health problems, guys, that you're having that you're not going to heal are there to keep you in balance, keep you in check. Because if you didn't have that health issue to keep you in check, you'll manifest something a hell of a lot worse. You know? Yeah, but my love, again, seeking solutions and healings are two different things. Two different things. You know? And there's a fine line between the two. Healing is a natural process, right? Growth is something we're deterring from. So when you focus on the growth first and you understand how to secure yourself, then the healing happens, and then you'll know what to do physically to like maybe help and assist on the physical healing, because of course we have to do physical things, take physical, things to nurture our bodies, and that'll be in tune to you, So remember, sometimes, and that might be your problem, you're absorbing and being proactive too much, my love. Sometimes it's part of the healing to be proactive about seeking solutions, but sometimes it's about shutting it down, though, Abby. Sometimes, maybe the solution is that I need to stop looking for solutions. Maybe the fact that I got to stop, like I said before, stop microscoping all of this all the time, right? But you'll know, because when the physical catches up with the spiritual mental, right? So when the mental is in the right position, then the physical merges with that too, right? But let it be a teacher. Every health issue is a teacher. There's a lesson behind it. It's teaching you something. It's also teaching you how to navigate, my love. It's teaching you how to navigate how you're absorbing. Because right now you don't have the energy, the bandwidth to absorb from people anymore. Good, it's teaching you that. It's teaching you how to refine your own energy. But don't get so wrapped up in the solution of healing the situation, more about what the lesson is, what it's really teaching you. Then the healing comes. That's the formula, So, and I'm saying it all the time too. Is yes, Jody's correct. The healing has become a cult too, by the way. So, and I see people healing that come to me. I'm like, why are you still healing? You're healed. There's nothing wrong with you. Oh, but I still have these things manifesting. I'm like, yeah, but you're still manifesting circumstances that you remember because you're clinging to the circumstances, but your body's fine. Oh, but I had the circumstance. But you're just regenerating the circumstance, but you're actually good. If you let go of this emotionally, then, and I've seen a lot of people move forward just from that realization and work, simplistically. So take all that to heed. Okay? It isn't like I'm affected by health issues. Now I'm in disarray because the external is affecting my internal. No. That does not happen that way. Your internal create the external, and your internal is navigating external. So there's also karmic reasons why we chose health karma to teach us. Let it understand what it is teaching you. Then the healing process happens naturally. Or you'll understand it's just a navigation tool for your current physical life, and you'll be well and healthy and vibrant. And it wouldn't be depriving of you. You found your place where it gives you focus, actually, how to focus. Some people are like, I don't know what to focus on. But yeah, you have a health issue. I can't do this, so I can focus on this. Boom. It keeps you more focused. So understand how to utilize the health issues. Okay, so this is for Abby, but I also spawned into what other people need to hear about this, because I come across this so much to do, so many years I've been doing this work, and how people are just looking at it all wrong. They're just pacifying the same thing in the name of healing, So yeah, you do this, and you understand how to guard yourself, Abby. You understand how to set the boundaries. You stop absorbing. You stop microscoping. You go and get some sun. Get out in nature. Get the downloads from the sun. Watch what changes. You wouldn't have, and then the physical will catch up with the mental. So I think that you're on that journey for that. I think you're on that journey to that. I really think you're in that journey of doing so. All right. Okay. All right, guys, well, stick around. So we're done with the live readings. So I love every one of you guys. You guys are amazing. My heart is with every single one of you guys. You can see that when I get heated, it's passion, and that passion comes from my heart because I love you all. I love people. I love humanity. I love our species sometimes, but I generally love the souls that are here that are trying to evolve, and those who have souls, and some people don't. I feel you all. We're all connected. We're all a family. And so yeah. So we're going to wind things down a little bit with a nice, wonderful new sound bath from Lafayette. So if you have 5-6 minutes, stick around and I'll be back and we'll close. So let's enjoy this 5-6 minute sound bath from some Lafayette. It's wonderful. Whoop, whoop. Wow. Again, transported to another dimension. Am I here? Scott, you here? I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm here, but great show. Melissa, that's very sweet of you. Let's give Melissa some attention. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for all your readings that you have been doing as far as you. Thanks, Melissa. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate that generally. I appreciate you too. So give Melissa some love in the house. Very sweet. You guys are all very, very amazing souls. And if there wasn't amazing souls out there, I wouldn't be putting myself on social media. It's a calling. I still am grappling with doing social media, but I love it when I do it. You know, I talk about this all the time. I'm trying to be that YouTuber. I'm trying to be that person that's accessible. But, you know, I started because my guy's been pushing me for a while to be on YouTube because I never really needed it. And so now I understand why that I am. And so and then I'm like, okay, I just want to be accessible to my clients. So there's additional resources of inspiration and mentorship. So, but now it's, you know, almost a year into it, and you know, it's a great extension of what I do. So yeah, so hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming in. I'll see you guys next week. And if you haven't checked out this morning on LOL, please do. It was an interesting episode. And if you want to book a one-on-one private session with me, it's scottcruzepm.com. The link is in the description. Offer life readings as well as mediumship sessions and intuition builder course. And I'm still working on my psychic one-on-one course. It's taking more time because I want to get it right, because I'm going to have the course on my site, full course, and I'm going to have a version of that for Serious Joy that is integrated with the step system. So there'll be two versions, one that's in depth, one that's more in line with the step system. So it'll be a great chance to see both and different aspects of such. So I'm spending more time on that. I'm very busy, so I look forward to sharing that with y'all. So the goal is to have it done in Aqua season, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's okay. It will come when it needs to come. And so all is well. And I will see you all next week. And please remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. I love you all. Have a wonderful night.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzepm.com to book your own personal session today.